Hey Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast from November 14th through the 20th. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You may stumble upon this video at a later time. No worries, it's all good. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to find it. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the collective. That being said, not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, let's see what we have coming up here for the Capricorn collective. Alrighty, we're going to get right on into it. Moving just a little bit closer. And the first card coming up here is the Queen of Swords. This could be an air sign person, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. If you have air sign placements, there could be, like, you might be paying attention to those houses or those areas of your life. You may be focusing on those areas of your life right now, kind of getting your ducks in a row. Now, in terms of energy, Queen of Swords comes up a lot of the times when there's boundaries at play here. Like maybe you're setting boundaries, or you're being very protective with your time. You're not giving your time away freely. You're looking at time management or scheduling. The vibe that I'm getting for Capricorn with the Queen of Swords in the week ahead, Capricorn, I feel like some of you are in a situation where you feel like you've been nice. Like maybe you've been focusing on making friends. Maybe you're in a new situation. Like maybe you moved to like a new area, or you started a new job, or just in general, maybe you've just been in the mindset of wanting to make friends and wanting to be more social. For some reason, with this Queen of Swords, I feel Capricorns are wanting to find a balance. Like maybe you're feeling like people are not taking you seriously enough, or they're joking around with you, but they're being a little too informal, or they're kind of going it a little bit too far, where you're like, hey now, like, we don't know each other that well yet. Like, you better step back. That was a little rude, so I feel like there may be something here where you're laying boundaries with your socializing or your social interactions, or with the way that people are joking around with you. Maybe in the past you've had like a self-deprecating humor, and maybe you're dealing with someone who, like, they're trying to be your friend and they're trying to jump up on it, and they're like being insulting. Maybe they don't mean to, but like they're taking it a little too far. So I feel there's something here where you're laying a boundary with, like, letting people know, like, where they are with you, where they stand with you in terms of friendship. Like, we're friends, we're good and all, but like, don't get too comfortable just yet, or like, that's a little too far. So I feel there's like boundaries or balance in friendships and joking around. For some reason, I'm getting the vibe that this is around joking around. The next card that's coming up for the Capricorn collective is the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands for me is a card that kind of says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like right now is not time to be a maverick. Right now is not time to take huge risks. You may be feeling a little impatient, especially with this Queen of Swords energy. You may be really focused on what you're wanting to accomplish or where you're wanting to go. And maybe you're feeling a little impatient, like it's not happening quickly enough. And sometimes when we get in that mindset, we start thinking, what can I change? What can I improve? What can I, do to kind of speed this along? And Seven of Wands is like, look, you've got the right idea. You're headed in the right direction. Right now is not the time for big drastic changes or big drastic, leaps. For some reason, I feel this Seven of Wands is also coming across like physical appearance for Capricorn. Maybe in this whole thing of like being social and making friends, but then you're also thinking like, well, hey, I want to be taken seriously. So maybe you're thinking about like your physical image, how you're putting yourself out there, or how you're like being seen by other people. So maybe you're thinking of making changes to yourself physically. and maybe you're wanting to do something really drastic. Seven of Wands is saying that's not necessary. Like if you want to make some changes, cool, but you might regret it later that you went too drastic or you went too far out. So maybe kind of start off with some small changes, little changes, maybe some changes that aren't that permanent or aren't going to take a really long time to change back. So maybe like making more smaller changes. For whatever reason, I feel for some reason this has to do with physical appearance. You're wanting to do something really drastic, and I feel like the Seven of Wands is saying if you do, you might regret it later. So go easy on it. Start small. I feel some of you even maybe wanting to do something in terms of like surgery. Like you may be doing a consultation or planning a consultation for like cosmetic surgery, and you might have something where you're like, oh, I want this exact nose, or I want this exact chest size, or I want this exact jawline, or whatever it might be. And it, like, you might even have your doctor telling you, or the surgeon telling you, let's do this instead. Let's kind of start small. And you might be tempted to say, no, this is what I want. I don't want to come back in. I just want to do it once and be done. I feel like you might regret it. It might be better to listen to that advice and say, okay, let me start here, and make changes along the way if I feel like I want to make changes along the way. But you might find that you like the way that it is, and you might say, you know what, I'm good here, and I'm glad I didn't go all the way extreme. So be moderate here with changes that you might be making to physical appearance. The next card that's coming up here for the Capricorn Collective is the Nine of Swords. Now, Nine of Swords can come up when we have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. We're worried about the future. We might be experiencing insomnia or sleeplessness. Now, Capricorn, I'm about to say something. Don't get offended. I feel like some of you are doing something to take the edge off, and it's beginning to accumulate or build up in your system to now where it's affecting you negatively. Like you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling depressed, maybe even a little paranoid. So maybe you've been, smoking the grass, or maybe you've been drinking, or maybe you've been doing some other substances, whether they're holistic or otherwise. But I feel like there may be, for some of you, a buildup that is beginning to create anxiety and frustration and like nervousness. So I feel it might be a good idea for some of you to come into a time of detox. For some of you, it's as simple as sugar and caffeine, right? Like or maybe you're like downing the energy drinks because you're trying to keep going, and you're trying to keep up. And I feel that there's gonna be some beneficial results if you do a little bit of like just a mild detox. You don't have to go all out there and like go to the health food store and get like the, I don't know, the what is it, the bitter walnut, or whatever it is. I'm not saying you have to starve yourself or fast or do nothing but vegetable juice. But when I say cleanse, it could be as simple as like not turning to certain substances, or maybe not having so much coffee, maybe cutting back, maybe not doing the energy drinks, maybe not indulging in whatever other substances maybe you've been doing to kind of take the edge off here, or give you energy, or help you to keep up. Because I feel like there's this nervousness, like this anxiety and this worry. And I feel like it's becoming to where you might be internalizing a lot of things. Like you think like people are upset with you, or if something is happening, you think it's like because of something you said or something you did, or you're beginning to feel like people don't like you. Some of you are setting the boundary with that person that came up in the beginning of the reading, and right after you set the boundary, now you're like, oh my gosh, what if they think I'm a jerk? Oh my gosh, now like what if they think I'm this just total horrible person? And you're worrying about setting a boundary. All of this is negative ego, right? So if you can try to do some affirmations, some grounding, some meditation, detoxing that was mentioned, trying to do what you can to make sure you're getting good quality sleep, that you're getting enough sleep, is going to help with balancing out this nervousness and this fear of like people don't like me, or they're talking about me, or they're avoiding me, or just feeling insecure about a situation. It's going to go a really long way with giving you a sense of like groundedness, security, confidence, being comfortable in the situation, being comfortable in your own skin, not second guessing yourself so much. The next card that's coming up here for the Capricorn collective is the Death card, and this is a major arcana card. So major arcana cards are going to come up when it's like a significant new chapter, a defining moment. This is not energy that's going to be wrapped up in a 7-day period of time. Now, obviously, I'm setting the intention that I'm doing it for a 7-day period of time. But when we have major arcana cards come up, this is the kind of thing that might last for several months, or for a long time, maybe a year. I've been through some phases that have lasted 2 years, 3 years. Now, Death card would not last, that long, maybe more like a few months, at the most, I would say. But this is a card about new beginnings, like something is ending and we're coming into a new beginning. And typically I would say if you have Scorpio placements, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life, and that might be the case. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio that might be very significant in your life. Some of you maybe are wanting to confront a Scorpio about a situation and you're very nervous about it. And all of the information that came in still applies to kind of help you with working something out with a Scorpio. Now, Scorpio aside, these cards coming together with the Death card give me the feeling and the sense of like complete and total transformation within yourself, and like how you're putting yourself out there to the world. I feel like Capricorn, you're wanting a complete and total makeover over your life. Just like everything made over, everything new. So maybe you're wanting to do something really big like relocate. Maybe you're wanting to do something really big like completely and totally change your physical appearance. Maybe you're wanting to do some big things in life that typically you wouldn't do. You might even be asking yourself, what is the opposite of what I would usually do? That's what I'm going to do, because that's how big of a change I want in my life. And that's how serious I am about it. So I feel there's a sense of like this complete do-over, this complete makeover with this Death card that's coming up for you guys. So I feel over the next few months, over the next several months, you're making really big changes. Remember what the Seven of Wands is telling us. Start small. Allow yourself to build over time. You might be really, really tempted for something very opposite, very extreme, but go gradual, because you're testing things out. You're testing out the waters. You're figuring out this new self. You're figuring out what you like. You don't want to make a really big change and then have a really hard time trying to change back. So gradual. Again, here with this complete and total sense of like makeover, you may be doing a lot of things to yourself physically over time, making changes. But again, I feel it's a sense of like a transformation and a do-over or a makeover in your life. It's big energy. It's exciting stuff. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you follow the advice that came in here with the Nine of Swords about getting rest and like, grounding yourself, because I do feel like you're going to be making a lot of decisions towards these changes that you're making. And if we're really tired, we get really emotional. And if we're really emotional, we might start to make fear-based decisions instead of faith-based decisions. We kind of fall out of our logic, and we might end up making decisions later on that we regret. So anything that you can do in this time as you're seeking change to make sure that you're grounded, that you're getting enough rest, that you're getting enough sleep, that you're avoiding that negative ego, that fear mindset, and just be very grounded. You're going to like the changes that you're making, and you're going to like the direction that your life is going into, rather than, oh man, I jumped from the frying pan into the fire, or I really don't like these changes. Then you can make changes that you actually like, and that you are going to be able to live with happily. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. There's a link in the description that will take you to my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. There's also a link of playlist in the description that will take you to the weekly forecasts if you're wanting to check out the other forecasts. Also a playlist that'll take you to the love readings for November. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care and be well, my darlings.